Catherine.
And my name's Deanna.
And today we're going to have lots of fun because we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is science and birds. I love birds.
Me too.
Oh, I'm so glad you do. That's so great. We're going to look at one bird, and I want you to think about, what do adult birds eat?
I know they eat worms and seeds.
Very good. They eat seeds and worms and lots of other things too. And we're going to start by getting a clue with this hawk. Isn't he beautiful?
Yes.
Unfortunately, he was hit by a car and he died, so he's a stuffed bird, but he was once alive. Isn't he gorgeous?
Yeah.
So if you look at this hawk's body, you can see some clues that are going to help you decide what he eats. What kind of clues do you see?
His claws are really pointy.
Yeah, you touched it. How does it feel?
It's sharp.
It is sharp. How would you like those sharp claws to go in you?
That'd hurt a lot.
I think it really would. Are there any other clues?
His mouth, there's a top sharp one, and the bottom one is not. The top one is longer than the bottom one, because the bottom one has it's a sharp too.
Yeah, very good. So sharp. Any other words that describe this beak?
It's yellow and black.
Good. Anything else? What shape is it?
It's like a triangle, but curved.
It is curved. Look at, you can run your finger right along there and feel that curve, can't you?
Yeah.
This is a raptor bird. That means that with this sharp curved beak, he catches large prey, other animals, and then he rips them apart and eats them with that sharp beak and sharp claws. So he eats things like rats. What else could he eat?
Spiders?
Well, he could eat a spider,
He doesn't eat spiders.
And he might eat spiders. I'm not sure of that exactly. I think he goes after bigger animals. So what other bigger animals like a rat?
Other birds?
Good, other birds, you're right. He also eats rabbits, and he goes after squirrels. So when he catches them with those sharp claws, they can't get away. They are caught. And then with that sharp beak, he can rip their flesh apart to eat them. Yeah. So I wonder if you look over here, you see I've got the word hawk right there. And this is like the hawk's head, and we're just looking at it from the side. See? Like that. So could you draw what that beak looks like? Oh my gosh, that's so good. Because you've got the curve in there and the sharp point, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. Very good. Now, here's another raptor that's related to the hawk.
It looks like an owl.
It is an owl, and it once was alive. And look at its beak. How would you describe it?
It's not really sharp, and it's only one color.
Yeah, yeah. Is it at all like the beak of the hawk?
Sorry?
Part?
No.
You don't think so?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, because let's put them right next to each other. What ways are they alike? Their beaks.
They're both curved.
Very good.
And they both, their bottom one is like that. It's under the top one.
Yes. Yeah. And they're both pointed, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then, remember you talked about the claws. Let's look at the claws of this one.
Yeah, it's really sharp.
Really sharp. So you know what? This is also a raptor, just like the hawk. It's an owl, and it eats the same things as the hawk. Can you review what those things are?
Rats, rabbits, other birds, and mice.
Good for you. Good for you. So these are raptors, and so we know what they eat. Very good. We're going to look at these 3 tools right here, and we are going to look at them, and which one of these tools do you think has the same characteristics or is like the beak on the hawk?
This one.
Yeah, and tell me why you said that.
Because it's curved and pointy.
Yeah, good. And I'm going to show you what this can opener can do. So here we go right here. And then I'm going to hold it. And wow, look at it, goes right through metal. It can rip metal apart. And we already talked about what this beak can do. What does it rip apart?
Animals.
Animals, very good. It's very sharp. So good work. Okay, now we're going to look up here, and I want you to look at these 2 tools again. And in looking at those tools, do you see a tool that is like this bird's beak? Which one?
This one.
Yeah, the pliers. Look at, we could even hold it right here. It looks the same. How would you describe it?
It's a little curve, and it's not, and it's pointy too.
Yeah.
Like right at the edge.
Yeah, right at the edge. Okay, that is a cardinal. And so I'm going to look at if this is what the cardinal eats. And these are sunflower seeds.
Yeah, I like to eat them.
Do you? Oh, okay. Now I'm going to pretend you're a cardinal, and you're going to pick it up like this, as if this is your beak.
Okay.
And I want you to pick one up. And now I want you to pretend and make your beak close so you can crack it open to eat it.
I can't do it.
I can't either. Wow. So this beak of the cardinal has to be very strong, doesn't it? Yeah. Now I'm going to get you some help. Let's use the pliers and see if you can crack it open. Oh, I heard it. Okay, let's put it in my hands and let's see what's inside. Do you see that white part in there?
Yeah.
That's what he eats.
Yeah, I think that's.
Have you, yeah. So that's what he eats, the white in the inside. And so he has to have a strong beak, just like a pliers, to actually make it crack open, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So now, let's look over here. Can we go back over here? Here's a cardinal, and see his head's a little bit smaller. Can you make his beak? Good. Very good. Okay. Now, that's what he eats. He loves to eat sunflower seeds. But you know what? He also eats insects. So he eats other things besides sunflower seeds. Now, I'm going to show you, look at these 4 pictures. And look at the beaks right here. Are any of those beaks just like the cardinal's beak?
This one?
Yes.
This one, maybe?
Exactly. These 2 beaks are bigger, aren't they? And they can crush big seeds. Now look at the other 2. Look at those beaks. They're smaller, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they eat seeds too, but they don't eat the big seeds like the sunflowers. They eat those smaller seeds because they have smaller beaks. So you see in here, these are all seeds. You see some smaller ones that they might eat?
This one.
Yeah, that's easier for those little beaks to break open. But they also eat insects too. Okay, good. Okay, let's look at this bird. This is a willet, and he lives on the shore. And he loves to eat all the little creatures that are down in the sand. So look at his beak. How would you describe it?
It's a lot longer and it's not really curved.
Good, good. Do you think that would help him find creatures
Yeah.
in the sand? Do you see a tool that might be like his beak? That one, very good. That's a needle nose plier. Oh, good. That does look like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, this bird is a shorebird like the willet, and it's an oyster catcher.
Oh, so I'm guessing it likes oysters.
It does like oysters. Do you like oysters?
I like crab legs and oysters.
Oh, yum, yum. So this long beak is like the needle nose plier, and what it does is he puts it down in the sand, and he finds little creatures in the sand. Let's see what you can find.
Crab.
A crab, good. Oh, yeah, some shells. So he eats clams. Yeah, and what else? Oh, what is that?
Bug.
Yeah, a worm. So there's lots of worms and crabs and clams that they have to probe down there and find. So they have to have a long beak, don't they?
Yeah, they'd probably be good at finding shark teeth.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? But they wouldn't eat shark teeth, would they? That wouldn't be good food for them. Okay, can you go over here then? And there's the willet. Can you make its beak?
Yeah.
Oh, you want me to hold that for you?
Please.
Okay, so then we can. Good, it's nice and long and straight. So we can find crabs and worms down in the sand. Very good. And Deanna, the last beak we're going to look at is the hummingbird. Right here and here.
Hey, look
And-
just like the willet.
It does a little bit, except the willet's much bigger, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because in actuality, look how small the hummingbird is. Would you like to hold it?
Yeah.
So see that beak? And let's show it right here to the camera. That beak is tiny, isn't it? That's our smallest bird. And look what's coming out of that beak.
It's tongue.
His tongue. And his tongue is just like a straw. And it goes right inside. So you want to make it go inside the flower and see, that's exactly what it does. It flies right there. And then it sucks out sweet nectar. It's like honey almost.
Yeah, kind of like bees, but the hummingbird takes out the nectar and the bee takes out the pollen.
Very good, very good. So there he is getting that nectar. And both the bees and the hummingbird are getting that nectar. But you're right, bees also get pollen, but they don't eat the pollen. It gets on their body.
Yeah, and they make it into honey.
Yes, the nectar goes into honey. You're right. And so that's the hummingbird. So that's all the different beaks. Do you think we could go down here and could you make a beak like the hummingbirds? Yes. See, it's much smaller than the willet, isn't it? Yeah, and it has a little tongue coming out. There's its little tongue hanging out. And that's what it sips. The nectar. Very good. So I want to tell you, Deanna, birds have some really interesting beaks. They're all really different, but one of my favorite beaks is from this bird, and this bird is called a skimmer. Now, look at his beak carefully and describe it for me.
It's orange and black.
Yeah.
And it's different because the bottom's longer than the top. And the other birds, the top is longer.
Yeah, you're right. So that's very unique that it has such a short upper beak and long lower beak. Now, here is the skimmer when he's fishing. Do you think this longer beak down here would help it fish?
Yeah, because he doesn't have to get all the way in the water. He can just put his beak inside.
Very good, very good. And so if a fish were swimming along here, he could be caught and then clamp down that upper beak on top and he's got his fish. So his beak is very good for fishing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Look at those beautiful wings. Aren't they gorgeous?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look small when their wings are tucked in, don't they?
Yeah, but when they're out, they look really big.
I know, they really change. Good work. Deanna, I want you to look at this picture. These are all baby birds. And what's unique about the baby bird's mouth?
Inside their mouths, there's like a red thing and it looks like a cut. And around it is orange.
Yeah, and their mouths are wide open and they're calling out.
They look like they're crying. Like
It does. You know what they might be crying? They're crying,
food.
Get the food in my mouth. You're right, food, food. Because their beaks aren't well developed, they have to eat soft things. And this is what they eat. If you hold out your hand, I'm going to, let's see, so the camera can see too. And look at that. Those are soft worms that they eat. Because they don't have a digestive system, they have to have only soft food. You know, like babies, they have to eat soft food. Yeah, milk and things like that. So insects are very important for baby birds to eat.
Me and my friend love finding worms.
You like finding worms, and what do you do with them?
I put them back.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you. Now, today what we've been learning about are beaks. And they're all different sizes and shapes, aren't they?
Yeah.
And all those sizes and shapes are called adaptations. That's a big word. Can you say it?
Adaptations.
Yeah, they're all adaptations. And can you read this?
Adaptations are things birds have that help them survive.
Good. So
Like
those,
food.
like food, helps them survive. And what helps them get their food?
Their mouths.
Their mouths. And we call those
Adaptations.
adaptations. And those beaks are all the right size and shape to help them get the food that they need to eat. And no beak is alike, is it?
No.
So those are all adaptations. Now I want to talk to you about ways you can help birds, because birds are very precious creatures. And we're going to look at some feeders, and I'm going to show you what I feed birds. Would you like to see that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, Deanna. So these are my bird feeders. And look inside and see what you see in there.
I see those seeds that we crushed, and I see the little ones for the baby birds and the tall ones for the big birds.
You are exactly right. They're different sized seeds that come in there for the birds to feed. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So those with small beaks can get little seeds, and those with big beaks, they can eat sunflower seeds, right? Good. And then I'm going to show you this one. Look at this one.
It looks like there is looks like it's the pollen.
Not pollen, nectar.
Nectar. Yeah.
Nectar, which is sweet juices. And there's sugar, and
Hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds, you're right. And where do their little beaks go in?
Right in here, and then their beaks go right here, and they taste the little nectar.
Yeah, so they have to be pretty long, don't they?
Yeah.
So they can put their beak all the way down there and get that. Okay, good. So that's for the hummingbird. And then we're going to go over here. And we're going to look at this one. Okay, what's in here?
For the baby bird.
And baby birds love them. And some adult birds love them too. The bluebirds love these. And can they fit in there?
Yep.
Yeah, they fit right in there. So those are the mealworms for the birds. Okay, so, and the last thing I'm going to show you is right here, and this is called suet. And what's inside that suet?
It looks like little pieces of seeds.
Yeah, there's seeds in there. The suet is animal fat, and it gives the birds energy to eat that. Do you ever eat anything for energy?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I eat energy balls.
Good. Energy balls,
My
and they're
mom's
perfect.
mine made that.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. And it gives you energy. Well, this gives the birds energy. So that's great, isn't it? Okay, so you could put up a feeder at your house and help take care of the birds, right?
Right.
And then they also, another thing you could do is to do native plants and plant them. And we're going to talk more about that at another time. But native plants have been here for a long time, and the birds are used to them, and the insects are used to them. So they really help birds too. Okay, Deanna, let's talk about all the things that we learned about today. We talked about the adaptations of birds' beaks. The shape and size of birds' beaks give us a clue as to what each bird eats. For example, when you looked at the hawks and the owls and you saw that their beaks were sharp and curved and powerful, you could see that they were strong enough to rip the flesh of rats, mice, other birds. Then we looked at the cardinal's beak. It is strong, so it can pry open a sunflower seed. Cardinals also eat insects. The willet's beak was long and straight, so it can probe deeply into the sand to find crabs and clams and worms. Then we looked at the hummingbird's beak. It is so small, slender, straight, and delicate so that it can go inside flowers to get the nectar. Lastly, we looked at baby birds' beaks, and we thought about their digestive systems that are not well developed. So they have to eat real soft food such as worms and caterpillars that their parents feed them. So all of these different beaks for all these birds are called adaptations, and these adaptations help the birds survive. So, I had fun with you today.
Me too.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.